Namaskar dosto, आपका मेरा YouTube channel, меня स्वागत है. Hello, my name is Ruslan, I'm from Russia and now I will watch video from India. The name of this video: China's economic crisis, influential experts silenced. Vantage with Palki Sharma. Very interesting. Okay, let's start our video. The lead.
Tonight we begin with China. The big headline is their economy. It is under pressure. Growth is slowing down. Exports, manufacturing, property, retail, all
Growth
key
is
sectors
slowing.
are underperforming in China. And what is the Chinese state doing? It is blaming the West for all of it. Listen to this.
As you know, some in the West are hyping up the so-called cutting reliance and de-risking. These two concepts, to a certain extent, are a false proposition.
De-risking is a false proposition, he says. Li Qiang is attacking the West. He's the Chinese premier. And he says the West is pushing the agenda of decoupling. That's the plan to move away from Chinese factories, the plan to develop alternative supply chains. The world is working on it, and of course, Beijing doesn't like it. Li was speaking to international investors, and it sounded like a desperate attempt to win them back. But this is just the facade. Behind the scenes, China is pressing the panic button. Emergency interventions have been ordered. Crackdowns have begun. As the numbers paint a dismal picture, China is trying to take control of the narrative. Let me show you the latest. There was a sell-off today. China state banks sold their dollars. They sold US dollars and bought more of the Chinese
sold
currency,
all
yuan.
dollars.
They call it a currency swap of sorts.
And by yuan?
How does it help? Quick background. The Chinese currency has been weakening against the greenback, the US dollar. Its value fell by 4% in 2 months. So an intervention was necessary, first to arrest the fall and then to spur demand for the yuan. And that's the reason why Chinese banks have intervened. They exchanged their dollars for the yuan. China's central bank has also pitched in. It injected more funds into the market. All in all, Beijing has gone on the offensive. It is aggressively defending the yuan.
They protect,
economic policies. Plus, it has launched
defends his
influential financial experts
money.
are muzzled in China. People like Wu Xiaobo. He's a very prominent expert on finance. He writes for a famous Chinese news website. And he's published many best-selling books as well. Now, this man is being muzzled. Yesterday, he was banned from Weibo. Weibo is China's version of Twitter. Wu had almost 5 million followers on this platform. Now he's been banned, and his recent posts have been deleted.
Government banned this guy?
The exact trigger for the ban, but we can tell you that Wu's suspension is part of a bigger crackdown. Recently, a top data provider was also suppressed. I'm talking about a platform called the Wind Information Company. What did they do? They published data on Chinese markets. Investors outside China relied on this platform to make their bets. But suddenly, Beijing has cut off access. So overseas clients could not get data from this company. The clients began looking for alternatives. They turned to experts like Wu for insights on the Chinese economy. They wanted to understand what's going on in China. And now Beijing is going after these experts too. This is a clear signal. China wants to control the messaging. It does not want any bad news to go out. But it may be too late for this, because leading experts the world over have already made up their minds. Yesterday, we told you about the S&P report. S&P is a global ratings agency, and it has slashed China's growth forecast from 5.5% to 5.2%. Other Wall Street banks are also pessimistic, like Goldman Sachs. They've downgraded China. Earlier, the estimated growth was 6%. Now the forecast is 5.4%, according to Goldman Sachs. And what does this bank say about China's economy? It says the economy looked strong after reopening, but the recovery has now, quote-unquote, fizzled out. Calls for a stimulus are intensifying in China. Experts say Beijing should pump money into the economy to revive it. And these are not just outside experts. These are also people who work for the Chinese state. People like Ning Jize. He's a senior official and a member of a top political advisory authority. Let me quote from what he said. It is better to introduce measures sooner rather than later. The question is Beijing listening? So far, there are no signs of a stimulus, only talks and crackdowns. The Communist Party is trying to mask its failures, but the writing is on the wall. The era of high-performing growth in China is coming to an end, and Beijing's current policies will only slow it down further.
Interesting. I think every Indian citizen want to Chinese growing slowing and Indian growing fasting. I think China, she say now China have economic problems, and Chinese government make repressions for experts. They want to block all bad news about China's economic, but Western experts know the truth, and all of these big companies who make ratings, economic ratings, they say China have problems with economic growth. It's good for India, I think, because now India they have economic and technologies union with USA, like China 40 years ago, and now I watch video from India, and in a lot of video people say now we see the century of India. It's very interesting, because I want to go to India and I want to watch this country. I want to live in this country. Okay, this is my reactions on this very interesting video. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye bye.